Don't mind me, warriors. I was just reading the unjust treatment of Black women and girls who are victimized in the sex trade. Sex trafficking in the African American community is a human rights violation. February is Black History Month. So I got to thinking, you know what we don't talk enough about is our Black girls and women that are victimized in the sex trade. Now, obviously, I'm white, I'm blonde, I'm blue eyed. I was actually told during the pandemic when I learned facts about Black girls and women in the sex trade and what was going on with familial trafficking, how it escalated during this time period in the Washington, D.C. area, that it was just exploding. And I was told, Lynn, do not speak about it. Do not. I said, well, why not? If these are facts and truths, and this is what's going on in the Black community, why can't I bring forth the facts? Why can't I talk about it? Why can't I raise awareness? Why can't I let people know what's going on? So anyway, let's get back to February is Black History Month. So let's talk about this because I want to talk about it. And we're going to do that for a couple of minutes. In the sex trade, it is estimated that in prostitution, victims, about 40% are Black. Now we know any kind of percentages are always higher because it's not reported. Remember, warriors, hidden in plain sight. So let's say it is reported 40% Black community, girls and women, despite the population of the Black community overall in the United States is about 13.5%. So do the math. So let's talk about why. Why are Black girls and women? This is such a big percentage. It really does. I've done a lot of research and I work with survivors and I talk to a lot of Black women and girls. It really does stem back. And you may not want to hear this, but this is the truth. All the way back to the slave trade, where the girls and women really were brought over as slaves and property. And through the years, it has just escalated, and our vulnerable girls and women have been stuck more than their white sisters in all of this. Now, there's something called adultification. Did you ever hear that term? Adultification. Again, all backed up by studies where Black girls and women, let's stick with girls right now. Black teens, young women, are considered more adult-like than white teens and white women. They are viewed as more sexually adventurous, more sexually loose, more exotic even than their white counterparts. They are viewed like this from the public, sex buyers, the public, sex buyers, law enforcement, judges in the courts. Adultification, look it up. And I commend to you a couple of places to do research. Because, again, I can relay to you, February is Black History Month. Let's look at the history of prostitution in our Black community. Let's look at the history, how it's tied into the sex buying of Black girls and women. Let's look at all of that, not all the other stuff that people talk about. Let's get really kind of down and dirty and look at hidden in plain sight and what is going on today in 2023 with our Black community and what is escalating. I commend to you, go to Lynn's Warriors Twitter, Facebook. I put out an excellent article by Dr. Stephanie Powell, an African-American woman, retired LAPD vice sergeant, who lays it all out, the whole history of Black women and girls. I'll also be having Dr. Powell on my Saturday Warriors program on TNT Global News Network on February 18th. So mark your calendars now. And of course, I'll be reminding you because she, as a Black woman, as a LAPD vice sergeant, boots on the ground, can share with us her stories, her work for the history. But I want you to read that article, and I've posted it on my Twitter and Facebook. Remember, I made everything easy, Lynn's Warriors, everything. There's that. And also, there's excellent information, Coalition Against Trafficking in Women. Again, about our Black sisters and women. We need to all come together on this. We need to talk about it more. We need to have more of the conversation, because guess who the biggest buyer of Black girls and women? Who's the biggest buyer? I bet you know. White men. And when you talk to them and ask them why, they will say things like, well, those girls and women don't matter as much. And if you say, matters as much as what? Well, as you know, white girls and women. And that is the truth, warriors. That is the ugly, honest truth. Or they'll say, well, they'll do things white girls and women won't do. Again, none of this is true. Girls and women, Black, white, it's victimization. These are crimes against humanity. We need to confront and really start talking about it. And, I'm prepared. This video probably will not get a lot of views, because anytime I put something like school choice is mandatory, let's talk about the hypocrisy of New York City DA Alvin Bragg. But that's okay, because if one of you listens to this and one of you goes ahead and looks at that article I mentioned, or marks your calendar for February 18th to listen to my discussion with Dr. Stephanie Powell, then I'm okay with that, because the goal of the Warriors is educating and raising awareness with one person a day. That's what we're all about. But I want to remind everybody, you may think Black History Month doesn't matter, doesn't concern me, doesn't anything. It concerns all of us. It concerns every child being brought into this world, growing up in this world, our future adults, our young people. Our young people today are at a loss, and it is up to us to engage and educate and empower them. And just in the last 2 days, I met a terrific young man and a terrific young woman. And it's giving me hope. There's a lot of hope out there. They want our guidance. They want our leadership. They want to make their way in this world. They want to do better, and they want to grow. So I have a lot of hope. But I want all of us to remember Black History Month is history. I don't care what color you are. Our Native American population, we need to concentrate and focus on them. They are the forgotten ones. So this Black History Month, educate yourself, read a little bit, and bear in mind, why are our Black girls and women the subject of all of this? 40%. Remember, it's always higher, warriors, when they're only 13.5% of the population overall. That's men and women of the Black population. Warriors, we have work to do, and we will. But I want each and every one of you to start stepping up, doing something, keeping an eye on things, talking about it, but always talking about it using facts, using truths, vetting the information. Because each and every day, I want all of you to remember, you must, in 2023, be a warrior. So February, we have a lot going on. It's Black History Month. It's also Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. I'll be doing a video about that tomorrow. I just want you to be aware. I'm keeping these videos short. Look it up. Go to Lynn's Warriors on Facebook, on Twitter. Read the articles I post, because knowledge is power. And with that, community creates change. Go out and be a warrior.